A deputy is at St. Joe's Hospital with at least 3 gunshot wounds. We're also hearing that the man who shot her is at the same hospital.
And our Allison Morrow is, in fact, at the hospital. We'll join her in just a moment. But first, we want to go to our Don Gramez in Tampa, where this shooting happened. Don?
Yeah, good morning, Ellen. We are on Waters Avenue, midway between the Veterans Expressway and Dale Mabry Highway. That's the apartment complex back there. It doesn't look like much going on right now, but a little further in, a lot of sheriff's deputies still at the scene of this shooting overnight because they haven't gone into the apartment where the gunman was holed up for 5 hours. They are still waiting for a search warrant. I will tell you that I have been on scene since about 2 o'clock this morning, and boy, what a wild morning. That's the sound of deputies using explosives to knock down the door to the apartment where a heavily armed gunman was holding them off. Last night, the sheriff says that gunman shot 5-year deputy Lionel DeVoe 3 times.
Essentially, she was ambushed within 4 or 5 feet of her car at almost point-blank range. She did actually a really good job of being able to protect herself at the time and not take a more devastating hit than she did.
That brought a huge response from deputies and law enforcement all over Tampa Bay. The 5-hour standoff ended when deputies forced their way in and found Matthew Buendia unconscious. Buendia's brother says the suspect has had emotional trouble since returning from the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. He spoke to him on the phone during the standoff.
He's a wonderful person. It's not even him. It's just the problem is the VA throws him on all these medications, up and down, and you don't know what's going on.
The sheriff says after so many police shootings lately, he wonders what's wrong with the world.
Never have I seen this many, shootings of police officers and police officers where you see 2 or 3 shot at one time. So I think it signals a shift in what's going on in our country right now.
So again, as the sun comes up, there'll be plenty going on in this apartment complex back here as the sheriff's office tries to process this crime scene. And there's more going on at St. Joseph's Hospital, where my colleague Allison Morrow is.
Hi, Don. Yeah, in the last 45 minutes, we saw a large sheriff's forensic truck show up here at St. Joe's. 2 deputies got out. One of them had a camera. They both walked inside. That is where the suspect and the deputy are both being treated by doctors under the same roof. Take a look at some of the video we shot earlier this morning around 4 a.m. That suspect, again, Matthew Buendia, 24 years old, was brought here in an ambulance. He looked very unresponsive. We saw him on a stretcher in that ambulance and looked in some sort of unresponsive or comatose state. The sheriff's office, though, did say that he is alive and did not appear to have any signs of trauma. But meantime, the deputy that he is accused of shooting is in stable but serious condition here this morning. She has, we are told, non-life-threatening injuries and will be evaluated for surgery this morning. Her name, Deputy Lionel DeVoe. She is 35 years old. She is a deputy that has been with the sheriff's office for about 5 years. She was shot 3 times at least. We know 2 times in the leg, once in the shoulder. She was wearing a bullet-resistant vest, and that will be tested today or at some point in the near future to see if she was shot more times than just 3 times, because we are told this suspect did shoot her at point-blank range and almost 9 to 10 times. The sheriff saying that she is very lucky to be alive today. And we did run into many deputies. We saw lots of patrol cars, even TPD, Tampa Police Department cars coming here to check on her. Some of the folks that we talked to say that she was responsive, that she was talking to them, and appears to be okay. But again, in very serious condition, but stable here today at St. Joe's. Again, a lot of relief for law enforcement as they show up and find out about their colleague that she is expected to be okay, but again, will be evaluated for surgery this morning. John, we're going to send it back to you.
Allison, thank you. Very crazy situation. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the deputy and the deputy's family. Don and Allison, they're going to stay out there collecting information, so stay with us for updates, I should say, throughout the morning and on air and online at abcactionnews.com. More information here. Buendia had an extensive photo gallery on Facebook, including shots like this one here. Shows him in uniform, presumably on deployment. Earlier this morning, Sheriff David G. mentioned that the suspect, he did have a military background. Another shows him inside an armored vehicle right there with a friend. The caption says they're about to head out on patrol. This final shot shows Buendia at Raymond James Stadium posing in front of the pirate ship.
We're gathering new information this morning about a deadly car crash into a